I want to give some reality to these markets. I'm not going to flip around any charts or bring out any statistics. I'm just going to talk, and I'm trying to make this very brief. But one thing I expected in April was there's going to be more of a pullback in the metals. Yeah, they pulled back some. Okay, I kind of guessed it's fairly decent. No problem. But you know what? That's telling me something else. The euro? Yeah, the euro's got problems. It's got more problems, right? Greece had the problems. And I'm thinking, why is it going to be more catastrophic? Why is it nothing happening more severe? You know, you got problems in Spain, Portugal, Italy. Yet, you know, we're looking at this dollar index. It isn't looking like it's going that great. I mean, why isn't it up like 83 or something versus 78, 78? Why? And, you know, let's just examine real quickly what Mark Farber and Jim Rogers are doing. Are they buying a dollar? Hell no. Hell no. They're mainly going into Asian markets. And, yeah, they got some currencies. Maybe they got the Japanese yen or the Swiss franc. Maybe they got the Chinese yuan, Hong Kong dollar. But they're in equities. They're in equities. And Jim Rogers is in agriculture. So, this next slide on the dollar. Because let's say, you know, Europe's problems go down to, you know, it's just the same old garbage, you know, going on. It's not more drama news that people run to the flight to the safety of the dollar. Let's assume what's going to happen then. I say the metals are going to start going up a lot and the dollar's going to go down, but a lot of stuff's going to go up. Coffee's going to go up a lot. Cotton's going to go up a lot. Corn's going to go up a lot. It's going to be kind of like unfortunate, though, in some ways, because all these people with the silver crowd are going to be like pumping up this metal like crazy, and it might take off pretty hard this year. I think it's going to be well over. I think it's going to be over 70 in 2012, and then it's going to pull back. That's the reason I'm selling then, but I'm not selling now. But I also see one thing coming up with the silver pump and dump crowd. They're going to be trashing the crap. Well, they're going to be trashing the heck out of people that were, you know, talking about silver not going up. And it's going to go up, up, up this year. That's what I think. And then it's going to pull back hard. But I do want to state that what's going to make the difference is the war with Iran and also the devaluation of the Chinese of the dollar by the appreciation of the Chinese yuan. And that's going to happen. It's not going to take like it's not going to happen like one day, but it's going to happen fairly quickly in this year. It's already planned. It's out there in the open. But beware these silver pump and dumpers, because it's not the only investment out around there. Quite obviously, it's an industrial metal, and I like palladium more than silver in a lot of ways, except it's not as well known. That's the major problem. I like platinum better than gold too. And there actually are fundamental shortages of these metals. In the case, I'm going to repeat this again, in the case of platinum, they had to pull out of stockpiles in South Africa for 2011 because they had record demand. They had more demand for platinum this year in 2011 than they ever had. And even just recently, they had some major shutdowns due to strikes and power outages in South Africa, where this one major producer lost 3% of its annual output. That should affect the market, but it's not. I don't know why. It's the same deal with silver, platinum, and palladium. They're going to run together, basically. And palladium, again, 2011, record demand, and they're going to have more record demand in 2012. They had to pull out of Russian stockpiles, and every year they say, oh, the Russian stockpiles are almost depleted. They do play games with this garbage. They dump on the market, and I know they're not totally depleted because they got some stuff stored in Switzerland, Zurich, Switzerland, and I guess they're waiting for the right price to dump it on the market. But I just want to point out metals aren't your only safety. Actually, agricultural assets are probably very strong safety too, and even energy assets. And you know, when Goldman Sachs is stating, like, recommending all these different energy stocks and crude oil, and they're also recommending mining companies in precious metals too, and ones that make potash for like fertilizer. But You know, it's not your only investment. I don't like that. I don't hate that advice, to tell you the truth. I hate that advice because I know it's wrong. And anybody that states to you that, I'm going to say this right now at the end of this, anybody states to you that your only protection is silver or physical gold, they're full of it. Okay? They're snake oil sales, and they ought to know better. And I think they do. But it is definitely smart to be partly in these things. Like Mark Farber's 25% into gold. Gold is money. And I know I stated before, like, silver's not money. I think of it as money. I personally think of it as money. But it's been demonetized since 1873 with the Coinage Act in the United States. And I think the last country to use it as money was like China or Hong Kong up to 1935. But yeah, I think a lot of people would recognize it as money. But they would recognize cigarettes as money in an emergency too, or food and things like that. So, let's just hope it doesn't go to some crazy emergency like that. But keep your silver investment. I think something's coming up here fairly soon because this dollar should be going up higher than it is with all the problems going on in Europe, and it's not. But what my common sense says, look at the smart guys like Mark Farber and Jim Rogers. Look at those two smart individuals who make their own money, who don't go around selling newsletters and pumping and dumping BS to victims. They made their own money. They have to make money by being correct. What are they doing? They're not buying a dollar. They're not buying a dollar. But are they 100% into silver or the gold? No. They do have some. They do have some. They do recommend it. But they're also into agriculture, Asian stocks, probably the energy market, that type of stuff. And cash. And cash. So just want to point that out. I think we're going to have a very good year on the metals. But watch, these guys are going to pump it up like crazy. The usual garbage. It's going to the moon. And they're very irresponsible, and they're playing a game. Their whole game is, some of the silver pumper and dumpers, their whole game is selling newsletters and BS. So their game is not to be correct for themselves so much as to sell their line or sell their metals or whatever the hell they're doing, if they're a bullion dealer or whatever they're doing. Just beware of that stuff. Don't go excessively into the metals, but they are going to do great this year because, like I stated again, the dollar is not reacting the same as it should be. These metals are not pulling back as much as they should be due to with the European crisis. That's telling me there's a hell of a lot of buying pressure going on behind the metals, and there's a hell of a lot of people not going into the dollar as the safety. So, and just look at the two guys that made their own money, Mark Farber and Jim Rogers, and they're not doing that. They're not dumping into the U.S. dollar. They're not stupid. So we can see the writings on the wall for this year. It's not going to be 2015. This year it's going to go up a lot. Maybe the ultimate bubble might be 2014, 2015. I don't know. I think it's got a few more years to go.